Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do my setting up for the month of April, and this time around in coming up with a theme, I decided to center my theme around an idea or a vibe rather than an actual singular object. I think for my previous months, I usually like to center my theme around a singular object. For example, in January, my theme was sunflowers and last month was planets and flowers. It's always like a single object. So this time around, I really wanted to kind of step away from that and choose a theme based on an idea instead. So for the month of April, my theme is Cottagecore, and I decided on a Cottagecore theme because my Instagram Explore feed has been filled with Cottagecore photos. I have no idea how this started, but I think I just stumbled upon one of the photos one of the days, and then the algorithm of Instagram started recommending more of such photos to me, and I really enjoy just looking at all the different cottages and also all the little farm animals as well. I just think it's so cute. And a little fun fact, I think there's just something that's so special and dreamy and fairy tale like about them, and I really just wish that I could stay in a cottage even just for a short while, just to experience what it's like to live away from the city in a more countryside in a little cute dainty cottage. So that was just kind of the vibes that I was trying to bring into my cover page. So for my cover page this time around, I wanted to have a little bit more vintage kind of vibes, so decided to do watercolors this time around because I didn't really want a super opaque saturated kind of look, but I really wanted a little bit more of a washed out faded desaturated kind of look, if that makes sense. So I decided to do watercolors this time around. Once again, I'm using my Canson watercolor paper. I always like to spend the most time on my cover page, hence I really like to do my paintings on a paper that can hold up really well with a lot of water. And although I love my bullet journal and the pages are of a pretty good quality, I think I want a slightly thicker and higher GSM watercolor paper. So my idea of going into the cover page was to paint a really nice and whimsical cottage. In my head, when I'm thinking of a cottage, I always just think of a cottage that is in the middle of a forest or a really big plot of land and just filled with a lot of grass, a lot of greenery, and it has little roses or flowers just growing up the side of the wall of the cottage. So that is kind of what I had in mind when I was going into this painting. I don't usually paint infrastructure or architecture, so this was a little new to me, and I was honestly quite hesitant going into this painting because I just wasn't sure how it would turn out. But anyway, I just decided to go for it. When choosing my color palette for the cover page, I just decided to choose really desaturated and kind of like neutral colors, I guess, and a lot of green colors as well. All I'm doing is just starting out with a really light wash and just marking out the different zones first, and then afterwards that is when I go in multiple layers just to build it up and to just keep adding details until I'm satisfied. I must say though that I'm not super happy about how my cover page turned out. I think I just had a kind of different idea from it, but the execution wasn't really what I had in my head. But I think it was still, I guess, acceptable to me, so I just decided to leave it as is. I think I really spent quite a lot of time on this painting because I just kept being dissatisfied with it and wanting to continuously work on it. For the flowers, because I wanted them to be a bit more opaque, I decided to go over it with gouache as well. But what I did was actually to choose the colors from my watercolors, and then I just mix it in with white gouache just to give them a little bit of opacity. And afterwards, just to finish it up, I decided to use my Prismacolor color pencils as well. I've been using them non-stop because I just love how opaque the color pencils turn out and how cute it is, and I've been wanting to kind of do more mixed media artwork as well, so kind of wanted to incorporate color pencils into my cover page as well. So I just used my color pencils to add a little bit of detail, just add some line work here and there, and I finished off the entire cover page with some gold paint as well, just to tie in the left and the right hand side of the page together. I decided to just paint a general sky as well as some greenery on the bottom side of the page. I'm just lettering in April in the middle of the page in my gold calligraphy pen as well, just to kind of tie in the left and the right hand side together. And afterwards, I'm just moving on to the next spread, which is my calendar spread. And similarly for March, and I think even in February as well, I'm doing my little mini calendar spread. And I think it's been working for me pretty well so far, so I'm just going to stick with it for now. So what I'm doing is just a little mini calendar, and then the bottom is a little duck with a mushroom. I think ducks are really associated quite a lot with cottagecore as well, and I think it's just because they're so cute. And I decided to leave it mostly white and just painted the legs and the beak with a really light orange, and then I just painted in a little bit of shadows for the duck just to make it have a little bit more texture. And then afterwards I'm just painting the mushrooms as well, and then afterwards I'm just going back in to my duck with color pencils and I'm just like coloring it in with really bright colors. And then afterwards I am just using my little washi tape to finish up the spreads. And then I decided for my washi tape to also use a very neutral kind of color. So the two patterned washi tapes are from Notebook Therapy. It was from their fall collection, I think. And then the brown washi tape is from Muji. And I think Muji just has really great quality washi tapes. I think these three washi tapes put together really complement each other. And then afterwards I'm moving on to my fave log. For my fave log, I decided to do a small painting on the left hand side and leaving the right hand side more or less bare. So another thing that I really wanted to paint was also one of those windows. I always see those photos of windows with overgrown flowers covering it and brick walls, so that is really what I wanted to incorporate as well, because when I think of cottagecore, this is like one of those pictures that just pop into my mind. I must say that this painting was pretty fun to make. It was mostly quite repetitive and relatively more simple to do, so I just started off with a really light wash of brown, and then afterwards I'm using my flat brush to just paint in bricks, and then afterwards I'm going back in with a small round brush to just paint in the little vines. And then because they're watercolor, my green vines don't really stand out as much as I would like them to, so I decided to go back in with acrylographs instead, and I kind of like went over it again with my acrylographs just to give it a little bit more detail and texture. And afterwards I am going in with a red acrylograph pen and just scribbling roses onto the entire page. And this one was really fun to do. It was kind of like that very loose roses, so it was really mindless and really in a way calming to do as well, because I didn't really have to think much about it, and it was more of like creating the general picture of roses and vines. After I'm done with that, I'm just pasting it in, and then I decided to kind of tie in the right hand side to my painting on the left hand side by drawing a little border of vines and roses as well. And then moving on to my one line a day spread, I really love this layout for my one line a day spread. It just works so well for me. Yeah, I decided to do the same thing as my fave log, but this time around the two walls are like separated in two columns. It's just the same process as I did for my painting for my fave log, and this time around I kind of got the hang of it, so it was slightly faster. And I really love my one line a day spread. Sometimes I just like to flip back to my one line a day spreads from my previous months, and I think it's really interesting to look back and be reminded of that day. I'm just that kind of person that likes to hold on to memories and likes to reminisce on the past. So when I was young, I used to keep a diary, and then I would write down my thoughts from the entire day. I used to do it for maybe a year or two, but after that I kind of stopped because it got so tedious to do, because I'll literally filling up an entire page every single day, and after a while I just got a bit too tired and lazy to keep up with it. So I think just writing down one line a day, one highlight for that particular day, really makes it easier for me, and at the same time still kind of achieves the same purpose as well. So if you guys are like me, you like to reminisce or look back on things that have passed, then I would really recommend doing a one line a day spread as well. I think it is pretty simple to set up. It really doesn't have to be super elaborate as well, because most of it is just for your personal use anyway. I think it's one of my most necessary spreads and something that I've been incorporating into my months ever since I started bullet journaling. Afterwards, I'm just moving on to my first weekly spread, and I think I had a brain fart moment, and my top spacing for my days are shorter than the ones on the bottom, so I was disappointed myself for having that brain fart moment, especially because I actually demarcated the lines in pencil. I guess it happens to us sometimes. We just have those days. And because I really like this entire design, I decided to do the same thing as well for my weekly spread, and this time around I wanted to kind of fill up the entire weekly spread with the painting as well, just to make like the entire spread a painting, if that makes sense. I kind of regretted it because it was so tedious to do. I spent so long on this weekly spread setup because of just how tedious it was to paint small rectangles through the entire page, but I think at the end of the day it worked out. It looks good and I'm happy, so no regrets about that. This setup kind of reminds me of the weekly spread that I did for my sushi theme in March last year as well. I think I'm really excited about this month's theme. I really can't wait to draw some farm animals as well. I think just drawing that little duck is not enough for me. I really want to hopefully be able to paint some piglets. I think they will look super cute, and I'm really looking forward to this theme. I hope that it looks really cute. That is all for today. I hope that you guys like this video, and if you guys like this video, definitely don't forget to like and subscribe. It will mean so much to me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.